All right, let's talk about AI, but we're not going to talk about self-driving cars or fancy apps. We are going to pull back the curtain on how artificial intelligence is quietly and radically reshaping one of our most traditional institutions, the library. I mean, let's be real. You already know AI is everywhere. It's in our phones, it's in our cars, it's definitely in our workplaces. The conversation about it is loud, it's constant, and honestly, it's impossible to ignore. But it turns out the library is where some of the most fascinating applications of AI are secretly taking root. So, what is actually going on behind those hushed, book-lined walls? So, how do we figure that out? Well, we're not just going to guess. We're going to follow the data. Think of this as a deep dive investigation right into the heart of the research. Okay, our main tool has a bit of a fancy name, bibliometric analysis. But honestly, just think of it as a data-driven detective tool. It's like creating a research heat map. It shows us where the action is, who the key players are, and which ideas are creating the most buzz, all just by looking at the data from academic papers. And the evidence for this whole breakdown, it comes from a really comprehensive study of 354 different academic papers, all published over a 14-year span. So this gives us a solid data-backed picture of exactly how this field is growing up. And the very first thing the data screamed at us was this. Interest in this topic isn't just growing, it is absolutely exploding. So get this. In the single year of 2022, researchers published 66 papers on AI in academic libraries. Now, I know what you might be thinking. 66? Is that really a lot? Well, just wait. Take a look at this. If we rewind back to 2010, there were only 8 papers published on the topic. 8. That's more than an 8-fold increase. This chart really shows you how we went from a tiny niche interest to a major research focus. So who's doing all this research? You might picture a bunch of solo geniuses working alone, right? Nope. Turns out this is overwhelmingly a team sport. A full 3/4 of all these papers are co-authored. In that collaboration, it has a massive payoff. An incredible 85% of all the citations, when one paper references another, go to those team projects. So the takeaway is clear. When researchers team up on this, their work doesn't just get published, it gets noticed, it gets used, and it really pushes the whole field forward. Now, this research explosion isn't happening equally everywhere. So where in the world are the hotspots for AI innovation in libraries? The map here tells a pretty fascinating story. First, let's just look at the raw numbers. Who's publishing the most research, period. And wow, China is leading the pack by a lot, with 123 publications. The United States is next with 63, and then India with 25. These 3 are the undisputed volume kings. They're just driving the sheer quantity of research. But quantity is only half the story. What if we measure influence? Like how often a paper gets cited by other researchers? Well, that's when a completely different set of leaders emerges. Just look at this. The United Kingdom is the clear winner when it comes to impact, with an average of over 29 citations for every single paper. That's huge. And they're followed by Australia and even Thailand. So while they publish fewer papers, their research is, pound for pound, the most influential in the entire field. This map shows us how that influence spreads, or maybe more importantly, how it doesn't. You see these strong regional partnerships, like between Indonesia and Malaysia, but what's really striking is what's missing. You see almost no collaboration between the biggest producers, China and the US. It's like they're building these powerful but totally separate ecosystems of knowledge. Okay, so we know who's doing the research and where it's happening, but what exactly are they researching? Let's dive in, decode the buzzwords, and see what's actually trending. Remember that research heat map I mentioned? This is it. This network map shows us the big ideas. And notice those huge circles right in the center. Artificial intelligence and machine learning. They are the sun in this solar system. Everything else is connected to them. They are the foundational technologies driving this whole field. But what does machine learning actually mean for someone walking into a library? Well, it means practical, useful tools. We're talking about chatbots on the library website that give you instant answers. We're talking about Netflix-style recommendation systems for academic articles. And we're talking about search engines that are so smart, they understand what you mean, not just what you type. This thematic map is super cool. It takes things a step further. It actually plots topics to show what's driving the research right now versus what's just on the horizon. See the top right? Those are the motor themes, well-developed topics like chatbots that are the engine of the field today. But then look at the bottom left, emerging themes like deep learning. These are the ones to watch. They're the next big wave of innovation. So if we put all of these pieces together, what kind of future is AI building for the library? Well, it's a future that is filled with both incredible promise and some pretty significant peril. On one hand, the promise is amazing, a library that offers you perfectly personalized help and hyper-efficient search, freeing up librarians to do more important work. But the peril is just as real. AI systems can accidentally amplify human biases, they create huge data privacy risks, and they can easily outpace the skills of the staff who are supposed to manage them. The real challenge is navigating this tension, getting the good stuff while avoiding the bad. And that leaves us with one final and really critical question. We know the technology is coming, we know what it can do, and we know the risks. So as we start building this new intelligent library, who gets to write the rules? Who decides what's fair and what isn't? That's the conversation we all need to start having.